Hello everybody, it is Connor and we are back here at the EITHAD yet again. I'm going to have to just get like a seasonal pass at this place. We're here twice a week at the minute, which is great. If you guys haven't checked out our audio podcast, make sure you do so. Fantastic show this week. Talking City was blaring with opinions, debates, and some really factual chat. You can check that out on Spotify. You can check that on all your favourite audio providers. If you can hear gusts of wind I should say in the background, I apologise, I'm focusing on the bins there as well. It is, as it normally is here in Eastlands, a little bit breezy, although we've been lucky the last couple of times. So tomorrow here, Newcastle obviously beaten by Manchester United at Wembley very, very recently, a 2-0 loss, and their form's dipped a little bit, and I think we've seen a little bit of what we expected from Newcastle. Maybe not the quality in abundance in that squad, and maybe a little bit of a downturn in form and results, although very impressive this season. I still look at the two sides, Manchester City and Newcastle, and on the day I think it really is a mismatch, to be honest with you. However, Newcastle, as I've said, have shown some real grit, determination and quality over this calendar season so far. So it's not going to be easy. You're expecting a rigid, organised Newcastle to come here tomorrow at 12:30. What are your opinions on 12:30 kickoffs as well, everybody? I'm not a massive fan of them myself. Still have my morning coffees I should say, plural, and it's difficult to get up for it immediately, isn't it? However, City have had comprehensive victories at 12:30 before, so that is a good omen, isn't it? So yeah, back here tomorrow against Newcastle, and I think they're going to be expecting a bounce back, a bit of a revenge, if you will, on one of the Manchester clubs. But I think City should be looking at revenge on that lot as well. 3-3 down at St James's Park. City had the game in their grips, didn't they? At St James's, and then out of absolutely nowhere, Newcastle score 2 or 3 goals. Then it's all about bringing it back for Man City. So yeah, I think it's one of those games that's going to be difficult. They're going to come with an organised, compact structure. Eddie Howe's got them playing in a really compact way, but an effective way where they've been very good transitionally on the counter attack when it's come to Miguel Almiron, Callum Wilson, Maximan, and obviously Bruno Guimaraes, who I'm not 100% sure is going to be fit for this one. They've not got a great record without him. We'll have to wait and see on that one. This is recorded on the Thursday morning, so it's going to be fascinating to see. Now with Manchester City, as we pointed out on the 5 things, I think it's now key, and it's definitely something to note, that City just look a different side at the minute when Phil Foden's been performing. That is something that we have to take into consideration, because talent-wise, he's arguably the best player in the squad. And I think when there's been a bit of a downturn in his performances, we've seen City, probably unbeknownly to us, take a downturn as well. So the talent of Phil Foden really is there, and I think we all recognise that. So his inclusion is going to be interesting, because I think when players are in form at the minute, you've got to play them. You really have. And I think it's going to be a debate tomorrow whether or not it's going to be Foden or Mahrez, which is crazy when you think about Mahrez's form. I think Grealish at the minute is undroppable, but Phil Foden's form and City's upturn, as I've just mentioned, when he's been in the side, is something that we all need to look at really and think, yeah, he needs to be involved a lot more. I'd look at a back 4. I think Nathan Ake has been fantastic. I'd love to see him on the left side of a back 4. And the reason I'd look at a back 4 is because I think now we've got to have a conversation about Erling Haaland and Julian Alvarez starting up front together. The reason I say that is any time they play up front together, there's goals for either one of them. There's problems for the defenders. There's a real anticipation from Julian Alvarez. There's a real predator instinct with him. And I think Erling Haaland's just doing what he does, but I think he is also benefiting from having a second man up front, which naturally means you forsake someone in the midfield, but I think that is going to be massively beneficial to Manchester City. So there's definite structural and formulaic changes you can see happening with this City squad, which is going to benefit them. Foden being included. For me, Ake obviously remaining in a back 4. I think he's got to stay in there when it comes to the structure. Obviously Stone's back in training as well, which is massive. Diaz getting better and better every week. And as I just mentioned, a front 2. I think you saw the best of Julian Alvarez at River Plate when he worked in a front 2 as well. if City are to get the best out of Julian Alvarez and Erling Haaland, it doesn't matter even structurally if the rest of the team, for me, are performing, because those two are so devastating that they'll be able to curate chances themselves and finish chances themselves and really work as a partnership. So for me, that's the way City should go, almost to a front two, maybe even a 4-4-2, a flexible 4-4-2, a versatile 4-4-2 for this game. But it's going to be fascinating. What a game we've got for ourselves here at 12:30 tomorrow. As I say, I'm expecting a very rigid Newcastle, a very prepared Newcastle, and a Newcastle who are going to come here and cause City those same problems we've seen for a number of years now, even when City have been at the pomp. Teams sitting back and allowing City to come onto them. We've seen it even recently with Newcastle in the Manchester United game, them just sitting back and waiting. The Arsenal game, sitting back and waiting. But City, I think, have the options in this game, even if Newcastle do sit back, to be able to really hurt them and open them up, especially with Newcastle's slightly dodgy form of late. Guys, this has been Conor McGilligan from the Manchester Evening News. Make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube page. As always, we are putting out great content, I'd say. Great content every single day. Make sure you're tuning in. Make sure you're subscribing, liking. I literally want to know your thoughts. Get it in the comment section below. We'll respond to them, as we always try and do. Make sure you check us out on all social platforms as well. Check out our articles on the Manchester Evening News site. And as I say, guys, have a good one. I'm going to go with a 3-1 City win. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Cheers.